Got on my Stop the Killing shirt. All right, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. All right. Um, I keep normally when I come on, I say this is going to be a quick video. Stop the killing. Out in the park still, just finishing up. Today was an old man's day. Um, Today's a penetrate day. When I go back home, got to rub down the muscles for ultimate repair. So, um, I wanted to share with you all. Good morning again. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning to all of you. You can share this video. You can like this video because what we're going to share, someone who literally is in the experience will have to share it with you. So we thank you all for keep on joining us and being on with us. We're so grateful for the support that we have gotten over the couple of weeks that we have been on every morning running. We thank you for that. And every morning we come on, we continue to run. Continue to get our bodies better, the aches and pains. And so the process for me reminds me of the aches and the pains that we go through in this life. So, yes, I want to show you my shirt. Well, how do I do it? My shirt, stop. Maybe this way, yeah. Stop the killing. Um, Stop. I'm trying to get my body into the frame. Stop the killing shirts, but I'm going to use my right hand. Stop the killing. We need to really stop all of the killings, plural. Um, so this morning, last night, yesterday was a busy day for us. Um, in the midst of dealing with everything else that we have to deal with, we had a rally in Coney Island, public safety rally that we supported, and then while we were on our way, or while we were in the midst of the rally, we got a call that there's another shooting. An 18-year-old boy is shot. Two people are shot, and the 18-year-old looked like it's not likely. He's not going to make it. So we went over to the area to see if we could support the community, the family, if they're still on the scene, and we experienced something last night that was amazing in terms of just the way that the community is suffering and the trauma that we're going through. So when we got to the on the site, we had one memorial service of another young man who was old, about 53 years, who was killed last week right at the park, and there was a memorial happening for him. And then, but while we were on the way going, and we started to move around, we thought that that was the memorial for the young man who was killed last night. It was not. It was for another young person, well, another older, middle-aged man who was killed the week before. So we saw some friends, we supported. I saw Josh Beer, Pastor Terry Lee, and Immigrants Responding to Crisis was there supporting the gospel music with the truck. Pastor Terry Lee doing his thing. So he was leaving, we were coming, we supported, and on our way, now on our way, that yesterday we walked with five mothers who have lost children to gun violence, five mothers on our team. Because when you go out in the community, you have to have a team with you. We've come to realize. So we had clergy, we had our youth from our Flappers Leadership Academy, and then we had our mothers who lost a son to gun violence. Offering support so that when they get to the community, they can relate to the mothers. They can relate to people in that particular way. We can. Clergy can relate to the community in one way. Our role is different. And then we had our social distancing team who was given our PPEs, masks, hand sanitizers. And then we had our youth ambassadors who was with us too as well. Just working, seeing what is happening, and also getting a glimpse. We're teaching them and we're showing them that that this is not the life that you want to live. One of the young men who was on our team last night, he said to me, he said that, I've been given, like, all of the older mothers and grandmothers who are out in the street, and he's given them some PPEs, masks, face covering. They would always say to him, "Stay out of trouble, stay out of trouble." And I turned to him at one of the memorials and I said, "We don't want to be, um, we don't want to come out to do a memorial for you. We want you alive. We don't want no more memorials." So we got, so we went. We had one memorial. We went down the block, 2 blocks, and we were now at another memorial of another young boy who died. One of our team members knew the family, knew the mom, knew the sister, knew him very well, and that was so painful for them too. It's trauma all over. Our team is in trauma. You have communities in trauma. Then you have the 5 mothers. One mother who we were with. Her son got killed 2 weeks ago. She lived on the same block. Same. I could see in the description of this video, I was saying that I can see one memorial, two memorial in in eyesight. Then the second memorial that I'm standing at, straight down the block, there's another memorial. So at any given point in an L, I can see two memorials at the same time. Everyone died within the scope of 2 to 3 weeks in one particular community, and then there is no resources or trauma help for that community. So we're traumatized because I'm saying to myself as a father, I'm saying to myself as a black person, as a black man, as a leader of our group, as a pastor, that I can literally see 3 memorials in my view in one particular area that particular night. And I have 5 moms. One mom who is one memorial is for her son. And she visited 2 other memorials that same night, along with the 4 other mothers who were with our group. And she said that the trauma that every memorial site that we went to with the mothers, every memorial site that we went to, the young men in our leadership academy, clergy, and the moms who have lost children to gun violence support group, it brings a different level of trauma over and over again. I don't think that people understand the depth of which, when we talk about the violence, it's not just only about, again, I keep saying that the person is being shot and killed. That person, unfortunately, is dead, and there is nothing else that we can do for that individual. It is what happens to the people that is alive. The person that is dead, that's a problem for us, yes. But gun violence does not stop with the person being buried. The effects of the violence does not stop with the person being buried. The effect is not solved by us saying that there were 46 people who was killed or 46 people who were shot over the weekend. That is only one side of the story. That is only one. For me, there should be, every time, there should be a trauma unit in a particular community for the next 3 days when there's a shooting. That should be the standard protocol. And here it is now that we have 3 memorials in view. I can see 2 at every given time. 1, 2. I come down to the second memorial. I'm seeing this memorial and I'm seeing another memorial, all in the same community. That community is gentrified. People are walking, going about their business like nothing ever happened. Others are crying. Others are frustrated. Others are scared. Others are traumatized with the carnage that they're seeing on our streets. And so 3 memorials. I've never been, never prayed over, have did 3 memorials in one day. Visit 3 memorials. That to me is it's new, and it requires a different level of response from us. So in the next couple of days, I'm going to be switching to, and we thought about this too as well. When we're on the scene and you have people who are crying, one of them people on this weekend, we interrupted fights. There were potential shootings. One of the moms who were on one of the particular site, not even this site, another site that we were on over the weekend, blood pressure was going up and she needed some place to sit down. The sun was hot and we had no place to put that person, no place to put that mom. we are out there like we are out there unmatched. Uh, like the type of resources that you need to deal with the level of trauma, we are totally unmatched. And so I don't know if the city or the state have a mobile trauma truck, but that trauma truck, they need to get 5 and put it in the borough, and I can definitely give them the locations and the times and support them and go to every area that needs this trauma unit. We need professional trauma people. Um, and so I'm going to get down to the bottom of this trauma and this mental health stuff for New York City. I want to see actual, not people who are going to refer you to someone else. I'm talking about people who can do on the ground, on the street type of help to help individuals going through that particular trauma that day at that point in time. On the ground stuff. So I'm going to be looking into that. So we had 3 memorials, one night, 5 mothers. Um, what we got going on here is definitely something that we need to work on and triage for sure. We got to stop the killings. The killings are ridiculous. Shootings. Can't wait for the summer to end. Unfortunately, summers for most people is fine. It's fun, but this summer have not been fun. We've been quarantined for such a long time, and so now here we are trying to get a break, like catch ourselves. We want to catch our breath. Can't catch our breath. Zig going back and forth. Tonight we're out again tonight, Nostrand on Church Avenue with Senator Myrie. We're going to be supporting our family in terms of community. Um, People just need to be out. You don't have to be cheering any special. We just need to be out to say hi to someone, say, hey, how you doing? Just speak to people on the street, because everyone is traumatized. Everyone is in different ways. I think that police officers are traumatized by seeing all of what is happening, trying to figure out what needs to be done. So we are doing the best that we can do. We are praying over our city. We're running. Those of you who have an opportunity and you want to come and you want to, I love when saints would like to pray, but when you come over with me, you're going to pray and you're going to walk. You're going to pray and you're going to move. You will not come to any one of my events and you're going to pray and you're going to stay and go in your car and go back home. That's not going to work. You're going to, I don't know what you do in different areas, but when you come and you're dealing with us, you're going to pray and you're going to walk. You're going to pray and you're going to engage people. You're not going to hide behind a mask of, yes, you're going to pray and then you're going to leave the site and then you're going to go home. No, you're going to pray and you're going to walk. You're going to talk to people. People are going to curse you out. People are going to curse you. And you have to stand. You have to just have the love of Jesus in you to be able to take it. Some people will want your help, even though you love to give them your help. And you'll be saying, why would you not, take my help? And then you have to work that through as well. So trauma is everywhere. We are praying for a city that can live and survive without gun violence, this level of gun violence. We're praying for Virgin Islands that can live without the crime, the carnage. We are praying for mothers. We are praying for fathers. We are praying for sons and daughters. We are praying for the 18-year-old. Now this year, if you do a research, you'll see that the murders are the beginning young and young. I am afraid that the next 10 years that we will have 10, if this trend continues, that we'll have 9, 10, and 11-year-olds being killed. And it will be a norm in our community. Because here's what happened. And I hope that you understand exactly the way that I think through this thing. 46 people being shot over the weekend. Everyone who didn't talk about 25 people being shot in the weekends are now saying that the city is violent. When we had young men between the ages of 24, mostly being shot and killed, that was one thing. 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, last year, we started to talk about the fact that we saw more 16-year-olds who was killed at that time. And we said that it's a trend that was happening. That was 2 years ago. And now we're seeing that, again, murder victims are getting younger. and younger and getting younger. However, I am saying to you, before we have all of the come to Jesus moment in the media and leaders, I'm saying this right now this day, on the 20th day of August. We can get to a point when we have 11-year-old, 12-year-old, and 13 years old picking up guns, joining crews, joining gangs, joining criminal enterprises, and using guns to solve problems. We're not far away if we don't break the cycle. We're not far away if we don't break the cycle. And so we have to work to break that particular cycle. That cycle has to be broken, and it needs to be broken like right away. So thank you to all the mothers who came out last night, who was on our team, our mother support group. Thank you for supporting the new mom who came into the group, unfortunately. And so I miss what happened in the Democratic primary last night. Democratic convention, because while the convention was going on, we had mayhem in our streets in Flatbush. So we were out till about 11 o'clock last night. By the time we wrap up and did all we had to do and send all the teams home. Young Men was out with us late last night, and it was just emotionally draining, going back and forth, doing so many different things. So when we get up in the morning and we run, it helps us too as well. It gives us an opportunity to get some of that stress level, off of us. And I'm hoping that, again, you guys join the fun. So great announcement coming next week or week after next. I'll give you an insight to it right now. We are working on, a real cool idea for a God Squad mobile, and we want to do a short fundraiser for that. We want to raise some serious cash. We want to make sure that we can be out of the elements. We want to be able to help triage people, put people in a place that they're not on the ground. When we get on the scene and they're crying for the loved ones, they can at least get inside a vehicle, and at least we can support them and help them in any which way, kind of get their minds together, help them make phone calls to call family members. Because listen, this thing is happening on the street. This thing is not happening like, sometimes in a hospital. This is happening on the street. That they find out that the son or the daughter has been killed, they come to the location, and as they come to the location, you have this whole thing of, oh, 1 second, let me see this. I was trying on something. Sorry about that. These things are happening on the street, in the road. When we tell you on the street, when people come out, sometimes you live in that building, and normally you find that your brother or your sister gets shot. You come outside, you're on the street, you're doing it, you're crying, you are screaming, you are on the floor, you're rolling, you're trying to you're doing all kind of things before you can get to the hospital. Then you need to find transportation. Like this week when we went on the scene with the young man who was killed, 26-year-old boy who was killed, the mother was literally going through her phone trying to find family members to call. She was calling people. They had to leave what they were doing to come to the site to pick her up, to take her to the hospital, following the ambulance going to the hospital. These are all things that are happening in our communities. It's all happening at the same time, and so we're here. We only we're on our 2 feet. We have also to given family members, of course, right to the hospital, right to go home, and in our personal vehicles going back and forth. Liability, we don't care about liability. We can't see someone who's hurting and have to try to figure out how to get an Uber to get to the hospital. These are all things that people normally don't see when they talk about the violence that's happening in our street. And when you are on the ground, that is how support is being given to a community that is needed because you have that experience. This is not something that you can put in the book. This is not something that you can legislate. There is no legislation that talks about the after effect, the pain, the hidden effects of the violence that we have in our community. The only way that you can tell or know how to triage this problem is that you must have the experience. And right now, we have too much experience from our standpoint. And so we're going to be calling. We're going to be asking individuals to support. If you want to support, you have anything that you would like to support to us, we're going to reach out to you. But we have to get our mobile unit on the run. We got to get our mobile unit supported so that we can support the families and triage them and help them in their episode of trauma, anguish, pain, and suffering. We're going to support them. We're going to help them. We're going to love them. So God bless all of you. I keep on praying for a community again that can live without violence. And we want to, again, make sure that we are supporting one another. As you see that we're out in the park every day. Tomorrow is the last day. And shout out to my wife for 20 years. Today is my 20th anniversary. 20 years of being married to that young lady right over here doing her cardio. Let me see if you can see her. See her? She's right there doing her cardio. Today's our anniversary, but she's doing her cardio. So happy 20th anniversary to me. All right, everybody. God bless you. Hopefully that you all have a good time today. Remember those victims of the gun violence, even as you have your children. Remember those who have lost their only child, sometimes two children, to the violence that we have. Timothy said that in the last days, perilous time shall come. And if you can give me pastoral privilege, I'd like to change the text a little bit and say perilous times are here. It's here right in our face. The Bible gives you the condition of the world, and it also gives you the solution to the problems that we face. So people are saying, well, yeah, the Bible said this is the condition of the last days. Of course, it's the condition of the last days, but also in the last days, he's also asking us to be salt and light in the world. There is no escape clause to not do work. And if you, quote unquote, is about saving people, and then you see all these individuals are dying, then you're going to do more work so that you can save people. So no matter what you say, no matter how you have whatever theology that you have, we have to continue to still do more in our community, in our society. God bless everybody. Take good care. Peace out. And we'll see you again tomorrow, God's willing.